On November 11, Lebanon's Hezbollah launched a large-scale missile barrage targeting Israel, marking a significant escalation in the ongoing conflict. The attack occurred just hours after Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu acknowledged that Israel had been carrying out walkie-talkie attacks, referring to military operations and intelligence actions involving communication devices against Hezbollah and other militant groups in the region. Hezbollah's response was swift and destructive, signaling the group's readiness to escalate tensions further. According to the Israel Defense Forces (IDF), more than 165 rockets were launched from southern Lebanon, aimed at various locations within Israel, including the Haifa Bay area, one of Israel's most vital industrial and commercial hubs. The barrage caused widespread panic and chaos as sirens blared across northern Israel, warning civilians of incoming rocket fire. The attack is seen as one of the most intense by Hezbollah in recent weeks, signaling their continued aggression in response to Israel's military operations and actions in Lebanon. The missile barrage created significant destruction, as images and videos from the scene revealed several vehicles ablaze due to the rocket strikes. The sheer scale of the attack caused considerable damage to infrastructure, including buildings, roads, and cars. Reports from Israeli media outlets highlighted that many of the rockets hit the outskirts of Haifa Bay, where the city's vital industrial sites and transportation routes are located. While the full extent of the damage is still being assessed, the scale of the attack suggests that Hezbollah's military capabilities continue to expand, posing an increasingly formidable threat to Israeli security. Despite the intensity of the missile barrage, the IDF's air defense systems, including the Iron Dome, were deployed to intercept many of the incoming rockets. However, not all of the rockets were successfully intercepted, and the damage caused by those that did get through was significant. Local authorities in the affected areas quickly mobilized emergency services to respond to the crisis, and rescue operations were launched to assess and treat any casualties. Early reports suggested that there were injuries, though the exact number of victims has yet to be confirmed. Hezbollah's missile barrage follows a pattern of increasing hostilities between the group and Israel, which has seen numerous exchanges of fire, particularly along Israel's northern border with Lebanon. The group's launch of such a large number of rockets demonstrates their willingness to escalate the conflict, potentially drawing Israel into a broader military confrontation. Hezbollah, which is backed by Iran and operates with significant military support, has long been a formidable force in the region, capable of launching attacks on Israel from its position in southern Lebanon. The attack came at a time of heightened tensions in the Middle East, with Israel involved in multiple military operations in Gaza and the West Bank, and increasing clashes along its northern borders with Hezbollah and other militant groups. The Israeli government, already facing internal and external pressures due to the ongoing conflict with Palestinian factions, now finds itself contending with a growing threat from Hezbollah on its northern frontier. The timing of the missile barrage suggests that Hezbollah may be attempting to capitalize on Israel's preoccupation with its southern front in Gaza to launch an attack that could stretch Israel's military resources even further. The political and military implications of Hezbollah's missile barrage are considerable. Israeli officials have condemned the attack, vowing to retaliate with force and increase security along the northern border. Prime Minister Netanyahu's government has made it clear that any attack on Israeli territory will be met with a decisive response. In the aftermath of the attack, the IDF conducted airstrikes on Hezbollah positions in southern Lebanon, targeting military infrastructure and rocket launching sites. While these airstrikes are part of Israel's standard retaliatory measures, the continued escalation raises concerns that the conflict could spiral into a more extensive regional war, drawing in other factions and countries aligned with either Hezbollah or Israel. The missile barrage is also likely to have significant international ramifications. While Hezbollah is a powerful militant group, it is also a state actor in its own right, with significant backing from Iran, which provides it with weapons, training, and strategic support. This alliance between Hezbollah and Iran is a source of tension for Israel, which sees Iran as a direct existential threat due to its support for militant groups across the region and its nuclear ambitions. The missile attack on November 11th underscores the broader geopolitical dynamics at play in the region, with Hezbollah acting as a proxy force for Iran in its ongoing campaign against Israeli interests. The international community has expressed concern over the growing violence between Hezbollah and Israel, with calls for restraint and de-escalation from both sides. While the United Nations and other diplomatic bodies have urged for a return to peace talks, the reality on the ground suggests that both Hezbollah and Israel are preparing for a prolonged confrontation. The recent missile attack is a reminder that the situation along Israel's northern border remains highly volatile, with the potential for further escalations if a political solution is not found. In the coming days and weeks, the conflict between Hezbollah and Israel is likely to intensify, with each side preparing for more strikes and retaliations. For Israel, the immediate concern is to defend its civilians and infrastructure from further rocket attacks while simultaneously ensuring that Hezbollah does not gain further ground in the conflict. The IDF's ongoing airstrikes on Hezbollah positions will likely continue, but the potential for a larger-scale ground operation in southern Lebanon cannot be ruled out. Hezbollah, on the other hand, appears determined to continue its operations, sending a clear message that it will not be intimidated by Israeli airstrikes or military actions. As the situation continues to develop, the international community will closely monitor the evolving dynamics of the conflict. The potential for a wider regional war involving Hezbollah, Israel, and their respective allies looms large. Given the stakes involved, it is critical that diplomatic efforts continue to seek a resolution to the crisis and avoid further escalation. However, with both sides showing little willingness to back down, the path to peace appears increasingly uncertain. The missile attack on Haifa Bay is a stark reminder of the fragile and volatile nature of peace in the Middle East, where tensions can quickly spiral out of control, and where civilian lives are often caught in the crossfire of broader geopolitical struggles.